Welcome to Garrett Green Gaming. This is Garrett Green, and today I want to talk about WB Games shutting down studios. Yes, bad news today for gamers. WB Games just shut down 3 studios, including Monolith, who made the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War Lord of Rings games. A really good studio, and this is just bad news again for gamers, and a trend that has been continuing about layoffs and studio shutdowns going on throughout the industry, and this has been going on for multiple years now. I recently did a video earlier this year talking about how I am excited for gaming and how gaming is looking good in the upcoming near future, and things like this shut down that narrative and shut down that mindset that I have. I still think gaming is pretty good, and we still have a lot of great games coming and games to play now. But there's no denying that this is a problem. This is a huge problem and a kind of disease in the gaming industry going on with all these layoffs and studio shutdowns. I did say, the one thing that would ruin gaming or harm gaming is stuff like this, stuff at the higher levels, the CEOs making these decisions to lay people off. These are real people living in the real world that need to feed their families and feed themselves, and they're losing their jobs, and that is not good for the gaming industry. It's not good for the health and the long-term health of gaming when you have these developers fearing for their job, that they could lose their job at any moment, and that's not good for gaming. And it's really not good in this instance that Monolith, the studio that has made some really good games, they were working on a Wonder Woman game. That game is canceled. We will not be getting the Wonder Woman game. And they are the ones who created the Nemesis System, used in the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games. A system, a game mechanic that these greedy people at WB decided to trademark or copyright. Don't know which one. I think it's a trademark. So no other studio can use it. A game mechanic. How is that even allowed? How is that allowed? How is that allowed? Well, they did it. And now they're not using it, and no one can use it, and we have a game mechanic that can't be used, a game that we're never going to see, and a studio has been shut down. 3 terrible things about this, and I don't know what to say about it. I've been enjoying the games I've been playing. I'm excited for the games coming out, but it's stuff like this that will kill the industry. If it's going to die, it's going to be stuff like this, not looking at the future. They're looking at the money they can make right now, so they can take their money and run. That's how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but again and again and again, this is what I see. This is what I see. It wasn't just Monolith that got shut down. They shut down another couple studios, and this has been a trend going on in the gaming industry. The studio that made Marvel Rivals, one of the most successful games out right now, they just laid off a few people. Not very many, but they laid off some people, and they're one of the most successful games that have came out in the last couple years. And still, they thought it's okay to fire people. I got a whole list here of layoffs and studio shutdowns in the past couple years. Microsoft, Xbox, Microsoft, Activision, between them, they have laid off almost 3,000 people in the last couple of years. They shut down Tango Gameworks, a studio that made Hi-Fi Rush, one of Xbox's best games this generation. Shut them down. Luckily, they were actually sold to another company, so they didn't get shut down. They were going to get shut down at first, but they didn't. Arcane Austin did get shut down. The people that made Redfall Redfall was a bad game, but Arcane Austin has made some other games that were pretty good in the past. Well, they're shut down. They don't get a second chance. You make one bad game, you are done. That's what it seems like now. Sony PlayStation, they laid off about 1,000 people. A little bit more than that if you count Bungie. Bungie laid off like 300, 400 people recently. Unity, 3,000 people. Ubisoft, 1,000. EA, 700. Epic, 800. Take-Two, 600. And Riot Games, roughly 500. All, roughly. Not exact numbers, obviously, but around that much. So that's like thousands and thousands and thousands of developers that have been fired in the past few years. I don't know if they're getting hired back or if they're just no longer developers. I don't know. We're losing game developers. We're losing the people that make our games. So as much as I have said that I am excited for games, there's no denying that this is terrible, terrible, terrible for gaming. This is probably the worst thing going on in the gaming industry. And if gaming is going to die or the gaming industry is going to suffer, it's going to be because of things like this. Things like this. I don't know. I don't know the solution. I don't know if these companies are genuinely needing to do this to survive. I find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe because a lot of these companies are making really profitable, successful games. And it feels like it's just cost cutting to make sure they squeeze every little dollar that they can. Because, these CEOs and these guys, heads of these corporations, they're not gamers. They don't understand the gaming industry. They just understand the dollar signs. And they're short-sighted. It seems they are so short-sighted all the time because they're only looking out for themselves in reality. They're trying to make money for themselves, and they don't need to think about it long-term to get money for themselves. So, yeah, I don't have too much more to say about this. This is bad. I mean, layoffs throughout the industry. I just can't get over this Nemesis System thing, how they were allowed to trademark a game mechanic. That seems insane to me. And then they never use it. And they'll never use it. They were going to put it in this Wonder Woman game, and now nothing. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Not a good time for the gaming industry. I don't know what the solution is. I just hope that maybe this is just a temporary thing that kind of was caused by everything going on in 2020, and hopefully there's a correction to be coming soon, because gaming will be in trouble if this keeps happening. If this keeps happening, we are in trouble as gamers. I don't believe that this will destroy the gaming industry. I have to believe that at some point this will be corrected somewhat, and gaming will get stronger in the long term. That's my hope. That's my belief. But right now, not great. Not great. That's all I can say. So, anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. This is Garrett Green Gaming, and I will see you next time.